Welcome back to House of Prep. My name's Jerry. There could be a food shortage because of fill in the blank. I learned many years ago living in Florida with hurricanes and facing power outages, stores are closed, supplies are off the shelf. I've also, living here in Tennessee, I've experienced snowstorms. There's been some tornadoes that have been very close to where I live, actually hitting a grocery store, shutting that down so you can't shop at that particular one. So you can imagine the shelves coming off the other one. I've also lived during a pandemic, and a lot of you have as well, and seeing how you don't even want to go to the grocery store during those times. So for whatever the reason is, you might have different levels of preparedness. I prepare to my comfort level and to my spouse, my household. Which is another question. Is everybody on board with you prepping? I'm in a closet right now. This is my secondary prepping area. The main prepping area, I call that the functioning pantry. That's in the kitchen across the house. And in there, yes, there could be several items of the same thing, but everything's rotated. It's workable. It's not jam-packed. My wife told me years ago when I first did start making YouTube videos years ago during the COVID times and things. She goes, I don't mind you prepping. I just don't want to see it. I got what she meant there. She's no problem. She's on board. She gets it. She understands it. She participates in it. She understands and is thankful for when we need things. And she just doesn't want to see it. And I could see how that by jamming her main pantry full of stuff from ceiling to floor she can't even operate, that could cause a problem. And I decided I need to find a secondary closet on the other side of the house and a closet that's not being used by somebody else that I can take over a shelving area. And I can make this where I do the prepping grocery shopping. I come in with the clipboard and I can check off very easily. I can see what has been pulled out of here and taken to the kitchen. And it keeps a good rotation. And then anything new, I come in and I restock this. Years ago, I had different types of items in here with some of these same items. But as we kind of started learning our eating habits and things like what would we really eat and what are we going to really eat so that we're not wasteful and that we're not, just stocking up a bunch of stuff that we're never even going to use. And 20, 30 years down the road, I don't even know why we still have it. So, yeah, and I get, cans, yes, do the smell test, do the taste test. Sometimes the expiration date on there, it can last much longer if it's a nice, cool, dry, dark room, without rodents and without other problems. You're not dropping cans and denting them and things. They can last. But I like to just watch my money. I don't like buying things that I'm really not going to end up using. So I started buying more, focusing on things that are more the most common, but that would also be helpful if I had to go a month, 2 months, and it still gives me the different nutrients and different things. For instance, I wanted to make sure I had some canned meat, whether it's beef, chicken, pork, turkey, hamburger meat. You can get all sorts of things in cans. To me, that's kind of your anchor, in my opinion, to your whole pantry, because you want to make sure you have plenty of items and things that are going to give you protein, fuel for your body, something that's sustainable, substantial, something that tastes good. Because when you're going through a crisis or you're going through some kind of a food issue, people aren't happy most of the time, especially you're not getting all your favorite junk foods, right? So you try to have some normality to it as much as you can. I've met a lot of people that can. My parents have done a lot of canning. They still live down in Florida. I go to visit. I can go to where they keep their pantry, their prepper pantry, and I can find all the canned goods that they have that they did. They did the canning with the mason jars and the whole kits and things. And they're very good, very successful with that. And they rotate them and they eat them, and they last for years. Me personally, I don't want to put the time in that. I work a full-time job, and then when I'm on my spare time making some videos and things, I just would rather buy a can, put it on the shelf, and I'm good. I'm happy with that. I'm satisfied with that. But Everyone has a different technique. Everybody has a different way of doing it, and there's no wrong way. The only wrong way is not doing anything, in my opinion. Even for the bare minimum, you don't believe in outages, you don't believe in problems, you don't believe in shortages, you don't believe in cleaned out shelves, you don't believe in that stuff. Well, what if you're making some hamburgers and you're having your family over and your wife gets the ketchup out of the refrigerator and realizes, oh man, we are right down to the bottom. Have you ever done that? Yeah, I've been there years ago, decades ago. Yeah, you get down to the bottom and it's like, we have no ketchup. We've got to send somebody to the dollar store or down to the grocery store and just to get some ketchup. And what a waste. We're supposed to be having fun, being with the family, and somebody's having to go run and try to find some ketchup to buy. But guess what? If you have even condiments, you have some backups to these. I'm not using this for survival, but I am going to have a backup or two because I don't want to be that guy anymore. I don't want to run out of something. And I can't tell you how many times my wife will be like, oh, I just ran out of mayonnaise. I just ran out of mustard. And I'll be right back. I just walk in here, grab one, bring it to her, and I mark it down for the grocery the next run. And I hand it to her, and I go, house of prep. Like I'm some kind of superhero, right? But hey, we can be husbands, dads, fathers. Hey, we can do that. Wives, you can be the hero in your family. So by having some backups and things, like Lawry's seasoning salt, same thing. You're out there grilling and all of a sudden you realize, oh man, I'm out of this Lawry's. No problem, I got some in here. Which, by the way, as I'm looking at this, what's great value ketchup? It's got to be Heinz. All right, I'm going to have to remind my wife when she's doing the groceries orders, we got to have Heinz. Okay, we can't be doing this great value ketchup. That's just not going to work. I do great value in other things. That's fine. It saves money. It's cheaper. But when it comes to ketchup, okay, there's nothing else that's better. You got to get Heinz. Okay, I know you're going to tell me something different in the comments. Nope, it's got to be Heinz ketchup. All right, yeah, it's the only right one. Okay, but seriously, yeah, jump in the comments real quick. Say something. Give us some ideas as we're talking here. Do a thumbs up if you don't mind while we're talking here. Hit that little thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. Hit that little bell as a reminder, so when I have videos out, you'll get reminded. So, but we're having a lot of fun here at House of Prep. If you're new, I'm glad that you've kind of joined up and that you're kind of starting to watch videos. We have a lot of fun here. Backup prepper pantry. Again, we have medications in the bathroom. Okay, you open up the medicine cabinet under the sink, you'll find different medicines. But guess what? Backup. I tell you what, there is nothing worse than catching a cold, getting sick, and you're miserable. Okay, your nose is running, your eyes are puffing up and stuff coming out of them, and you're coughing and you can't sleep, and you're achy, and you got a fever, and you're just miserable, and you go, and you're like, oh man, thank God I have some NyQuil, because I'm telling you what, I'm a believer in NyQuil and DayQuil my whole life. That's just what I use. It works. I do get the Equate brand, see, cheaper, save some money, and it works for me just as well. And I always have a backup, because there's nothing worse than going in there, and you pull out reach up in the medicine cabinet, you can barely see through your shut eyes that are all glued together, and you get that bottle of NyQuil, and there's only that much left. And you're like, oh. And now you have to go to the store. You've got to get dressed. You got to go get your keys, especially if your wife's at work. And you've got to go, and you've got to run down to the Walgreens or the CVC or the Walmart or wherever you go. And you've got to run out, and you're going to have to go buy medicine because you didn't plan ahead. Because nobody wants to get sick. But guess what? People do. Every year, people get sick. Some people get sick more than once a year. So to have this on backup, I can't tell you how many times I've ran into that, and I'm like, thank God that I was smart enough to have some backup of the medicines. I'm not using this necessarily to survive, though guess what? In a survival situation, you'll be thankful you have this too. But that's the main reason I do it, is because when I'm sick, I don't want to go anywhere. The only where I want to go is to the bed, and that's it. Somebody bring me stuff. I don't want to go anywhere. Our favorite vegetables that we like, I like a lot of different things, and my wife has some other things she likes. I mean, I like spinach. Sometimes we'll stock up on carrots, canned potatoes just to have for quick meals. If we throw some beef in a pot and heat it up and throw the potatoes and some carrots in there and things. So we kind of play with it, but the main couple go-tos that we have is green beans and sweet corn. That's our favorites with meals. I used to stock, asparagus and spinach, and I like all that stuff. My wife's like, I might get peas. I love peas. She doesn't like peas. And now I'll stock up a few of those for me. But for the main, like front and send it to the back, I'll stock up on these because I know that we will go through these throughout the year. And in a survival situation or a situation, that's something that I know is normal to us. That's a normalcy. I'm not forcing her to eat survival food that she's going to end up gagging on and she's going to starve to death, right? So you know what I'm talking about. Peanut butter, always have to have extra jars. I try to keep one or two in here. Right now, there's just one, so I need to put that on my list because we like peanut butter. Sometimes just getting a teaspoon, getting a big old dab of peanut butter when you just want a snack, and it's a good, tastes good peanut butter. And again, a lot of this stuff too, you don't have to cook it. You don't have to heat it up. You don't have to use resources. I don't have to get out, a propane burner or a stove or hook up the generator to cook this. Peanut butter is ready to eat right out of the jar. So different things, and technically the meat's already pre-cooked. Vegetables are already cooked. So, a lot of these things, and they have water in them too. So in a situation you need some good, clean water or something, I drink it right out of the green beans at that point because if you're surviving, you're thirsty, there you go. It's an extra water supply. So there's just all these little thoughts and things of reasons why you do what you do, and you'll figure it out for yourself once you start doing it. I like SpaghettiOs with meatballs. I like the Chef Boyardee with meatballs. But these little things here, to me, these are like just a feel good. I've had these since I was a kid, right? But you look at that, it's got 9 grams of protein in just a cup of this. 9 grams. You can see it right on there. It's backwards on this. But to me, that's a nice punch. Easy. I could eat it right out of the can if I had to. I like to heat it up. But just other quick grabs, things that you don't want to have to deal with. You don't want to do a lot of dishes. You don't want to have to deal with stuff if you have a power outage and all this stuff going on. You just want to sometimes be able to have something to put in your stomach. And these are feel-good things. In the lines of being sick, same reason. You got your medicine, but at some point when you're sick, you get hungry. And what's better than just a good can of chicken noodle soup? Same type of a process. I don't want to have to go make my own lunch or dinner. I don't want to have to, go to the store or to a restaurant and buy something. I could just get this, add a little bit of water, heat it up in the microwave, and I've got a nice, comforting, helping when you're sick type of a food, right? Chicken noodle soup. Duh. So I figured that out finally. I keep my own stash. So again, I don't plan to be sick. When I am sick, I'm prepared. So rice and beans, staple. Now we've tried different beans. We've had dry stuff. Things that we've done, and my wife and I have played around with different scenarios and different things. To be honest with you, this is just our favorite. It's just the black beans. We like the Bush's brand. Again, great values, not bad, but we do prefer the Bush's, and we just stock it up all the way to the back because we will fix that with different things we like to eat, and we get plenty of rice. We have bags of rice here, front to back. We have more rice in the main kitchen pantry. It's an easy, again, that's a great survival food as well. It's a good filler. It's just a good substantial to add to your meal. And with the beans and things, there's more protein. Just a great tasting meal and very easy to do. So looking around tuna, I always try to keep extra tuna because tuna's great. It's got your omega acids and things in it, things that are healthy for your body. So anyway, that, things you use throughout your house, toothpaste, you might put some extra toilet paper in here because we remember, I don't hoard toilet paper, but I guarantee I'm always going to have an extra pack around the house, hidden around somewhere out of sight because remember, we don't want to see it. But I'll keep an extra pack somewhere because you don't want to have to even go to the store and hunt for stuff if there's another reason why everyone's out buying everything. Like the snowstorms, everyone goes out and buys up all your basic supplies, breads and milks and eggs and a lot of these comfort foods and things. Those buy right off the shelf. So I don't even want to have to go to the store. I know that I have plenty here, and then just I can restock it up later. Up here, I got a bin that I keep on the very, very top shelf. It's got all my freeze-dried food in there. I like to keep that as a long-term thing. People like to can and things like that. I'd rather just buy a bag of some Mountain House freeze-dried. I've tried different ones. I like it. They're good. A lot of sodium, but in a survival situation, that's probably a good thing. But they got a lot of protein in the freeze-dried foods, and I like to have those on hand because 30-year shelf life, easy, 30 to 35 years probably, and I'll be long gone probably by then. So I have those put up, and that way, for long-term problems, I'll have a bunch of that on hand as well. And that's, if we have to start getting into that, there's something really going on, and we're going to be in trouble. But that's the gist of it. Just having an idea and being prepared of having things backed up for when you need it. It's not a fear factor. It's not trying to, oh man, you gotta fill this entire closet, or I can't even stand in here. I have a couple extra cases of water in here at my feet, but there's still room to get in here and move around and to stay organized. That's the other thing about organization, is you want to stay organized. You don't want clutter. You want it, if my wife does come in here, it doesn't look cluttered. It looks neat. It looks professional. It makes your mind doesn't feel cluttered when you're looking at your stuff. You want to keep it rotated. You don't want to just shove all this stuff to the back and put all your fresh stuff in the front. Don't do that. Make it so it's very easy for you. I also keep a marker right here on the shelf. I keep it right up here. For instance, like the canned meats and things, because some of these have shelf life, for 5+ years. And just so it's easy for me when I'm organizing, I'll just write it right on the top here. That's backwards. It's 10/26. So this just lets me know of when this little tiny expiration date, what it says. Not that I'm afraid that it's going to be bad when I open it. I just want to make sure, because I like to rotate. And it's just quicker. It's easier. If I have to do like a cleaning, pull everything out, clean it, I can see the dates and I can just pop it right back up. And I don't even have to try to squint. I don't have to get out the magnifying glass. I don't have to do any of those things, okay? I can just get right in here and do what I got to do. Okay, so I recommend, if you're new to prepping, sometimes that happens. With these prepper channels, we get on YouTube, we forget about the new guys and the new girls coming on, trying to figure out, hey, I'm concerned, I want to start prepping for my family. You used to be younger, and maybe now you have your own home and you want to start learning how to be prepared for life. These are great videos to kind of help remind people. And for long-term preppers, we throw ideas around, and they may say, hey, that's a great idea, Mr. Jerry, that's a great idea that you had. I might start doing the same thing. I might start keeping some medicine, or I might get a marker in my pantry. There's little things like that we can share back and forth. So put some things in the comments, and if you've already put things in the comments, you might want to come back another day and read other people's comments and see some other ideas. I do that. I like to look through my comments, glean information, ideas that I use. That's how I've done a lot of things in my life, is by the path that other people have taken, whether it's my parents who have gone before me, or family members, or on YouTube, I'll watch my own videos, and having my own channel, I've learned so much from subscribers that are on my channel that I get to watch. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you had fun. I like to have fun. I like to talk. I like about stuff and engage with you and kind of include you into my life, and we can share this journey together. So you have a good one, and I'll catch you on the next video, everyone. Bye-bye now.